Peace, Chauncey. All right, one person here. You know the rule. Chauncey, as long as I ain't talking to myself, we good to go. So just me and you, Chauncey. Check this out. Uh-oh. We got some more peace. I send peace, bro, man. So we got enough people here to start, so I'm not talking to myself. Hopefully I can be heard. I just want to, can y'all hear me first of all? Somebody put a 1 in the chat if I can be heard. Peace, Kamal. I want to make sure these headphones, whatever, can you still call them headphones? Hold on, I just want to make sure I'm, what they call it, audible, before I get into this brief little Black History Month moment. It's going to be a teaching moment real quick. Hold on, y'all. My fault for the delay. I just want to make sure I am heard it correctly. Bluetooth is, okay, I think I'm connected. All right, so check this out. I want to say thanks for all those who joined and turn in real quick. Peace, everyone. I get to the Jegna and the other ones. I get to everybody in a minute. Okay, I can be heard. Peace, Infinite. And peace, Queen Cheetah. Now, this is not going to, I'm going to try to walk down the street so I know I got reception. Now, this is not a, let's interrupt Black History Month to take shots at people segment and all that. I ain't doing all that. But I do feel, friends, that this is a teaching moment. This is a teaching moment. And we're going to do this live in real time since these guys want to jump out the window. Now, people know I don't like to get involved in anybody's religious doctrines or whatever. Believe what you want to believe. But when you jump out the window, then so be it. So since they want to open up the gates and have the audacity to call my man a smart dummy, let me just show you how the dumb dummies operate. Because the dumb dummies will choose Black History Month to disparage, our heroes, our leaders, because they have none of their own. They have a bunch of misfits leaders and ass backwards guides for their doctrine. And because it's such a frivolous and baseless and historyless document, they want to then choose certain points to then disparage our people of African descent who knew they were and had no problem stating so. And they also fought for our people, period. So how does this come about, friends? Well, it seems, check this out. Check this out. Of all things, these smart dummies want to choose Black History Month to bring up Harriet Tubman. Why is that? When do these clowns talk about Harriet Tubman otherwise? It's only when you then try to equate her to some Black Jewish foolishness, right? And then you choose to use Black History Month, a month where our people, adults and children, should be informed, if not informed. Well, I'm going to use this as a teacher moment for the clowns who are too busy, got their noses stuck in Hezekiah and Ezekiel and all this other stuff. Well, let me tell you how the scrolls of the Black story and history go, my friends. Harriet Tubman died in the 20th century, meaning that plenty old people knew her. Plenty old people she knew. She told her history to them. Not once did she mention anything of being some damn Israelite. Not once. William Still, this is where the Black History part comes in, friends. Look it up. William Still is considered the father of the Underground Railroad. Okay? Look it up. William Still. William Still wrote a book on the Underground Railroad. William Still knew Harriet Tubman. William still talked about Harriet Tubman. Those who are listening, this is the Black History Moment. Please look up who William Still is. I may just throw him in the community page. Okay. With that, the dumb dummies then go and say, because they're trying to wiggle and say it's a matter of oral tradition. Well, let's state the obvious. If it's oral tradition, that means it comes from a source and is spread orally. Okay, fine. When did Harriet say it then? Fool? Harriet would be the origin of it. When did Harriet say it? Fool? It would have to come from her mouth to be an oral tradition. When did she say it? Anybody playing along and see how dumb the dumb dummies look? And then here's their evidence. They pull up a video, which people can find online, with some relatives of Harriet Tubman, who I guess have now accepted or come into the Hebrew Black Jew tradition. Fine. But then I watched the interview, and they all were Christians who had some type of vision, or Yah talked to them, as they said, which led to the gentleman, how do you call it, converting, and then his wife followed suit. And so they mentioned in this how Harriet was a Santi, which is a way we're aware of. You know, how do we know this? Because Harriet Tubman herself said that there were stories about her family being Santi or Ashanti, which when you go to the historical record of those who were enslaved in Dorchester County and the time periods that we're talking about, you will understand that the importation of Africans was primarily at this particular time around Ghana, because they had taken the Elmina fort. The English being the they. They didn't establish it, they took it. Dumb dummies. So with that, we're not even gonna state the obvious that if she said well, she's a damn Black Jew, why the heck did she go to the African Methodist Episcopal Church her whole life? Anybody explain that, dumb dummies? What were her ways and actions, dumb dummies? Her ways and actions was those of someone who accepted the Christian faith. She was a part of the Christian church. Fool. This is a Black History Month moment. We're gonna dig into the details a little bit more of the goddess, if you will, Harriet Tubman. Then they use Araminta, which is her first name. Yes, Araminta may be a biblical word, but idiots, did you know that the English were using Araminta to name people and things going back to the 1600s? Dumb dummies. And so they didn't get it in there. They made it because it's a concatenation, if you will, of two other words, dumb dummies. And that's why the English, who were the slave people or slave owners, if you will, enslaved owners, who resided, them and their descendants, in Maryland or Dorchester County, would name some of these people names like Araminta. Genius, dumb dummies. Because then I ask you, well, what other records do we have of people being extracted from Ghana with the name Araminta? Dumb dummies. See what happens when you stick your nose in the Bible and then try to stick your head up during Black History Month, which you have zero idea about. Stay in the Bible, fam. Stay arguing over Hezekiah and Jeremiah and all that. You're better suited. Because when you jump out the window, you look dumb, just like I'm showing you all. And then your slick and slithery connections is for you to have us play these dumb ass games where you think we're gonna entertain you talking about the Ashantis or Hebrew? Okay, this moment of silence is so I can articulate without any interruption 2 words. Negro, please. I repeat, if you didn't hear me the first time, Negro, please. Only Americans and a few Ghanaian people who got caught up in this nonsense are talking about the Ashanti people who have a history dating back to what, the goddamn 16th century. It's not until you smart hood Negroes come along do they magically turn into being Hebrews. Well, why wasn't they talking about for the 5 centuries of history that we have with them? Why wasn't the British saying that when they was trying to take the golden stool from them, you dumb dummies? Then you're gonna tell us them people got their name from the goddamn Bible. If you don't sit your dumb asses down somewhere, you should only be heard from when it comes to what? Circumcisions and what we eating with the matzo ball soup. Other than that, well, you Negroes, please, well, Negroes and the other cat, I don't know what he is, stick to the Bible. Please leave our heroes alone, especially during Black History Month. We don't go around talking about Rebecca and Sarai, do you? Do you hear us talking about Esther and Lazarus and all them other nutty ass characters that y'all deal with? No, you don't hear us talking about them. So what thinks you got the right? Because any other time you hate Africans. Well, Harriet was Asante. The Asante people are from Africa. So why do you hate our Harriet Tubman, fool? Here's the other stupidity. So now since you want to take Harriet Tubman, I need y'all to listen close. What they are saying is the leader, one of the leaders of the Underground Railroad was a Black Jew. And so what they then telling you is that this Black Jew took Black people to go to be safe amongst Esau, who they say is the enemy. So you telling me the Black Jew took her people to go to Esau? Here's another one for you idiots. If Harriet Tubman is the Black Jew, that means the Black Jew was the sellouts and working for the government? You do know Harriet Tubman got a military pension. So you telling us that Harriet the Black Jew was a spy for the devil's government? Well, you idiots, stop it. Look what all the stuff you gotta claim and take once you take Harriet Tubman that you are not willing to take, because then you look dumb. You don't claim and took Harriet. Harriet did all this stuff with people of Africans and said, why wasn't she saving the Jews? Dumb dummies. And then the lady goes, oral tradition. Well, like I say, that's fine. We have oral tradition, but it's got to come from Harriet, fool. When did Harriet say it? Because if it was just Harriet, wouldn't have kept it no damn just family secret. Don't tell nobody we's Israelites. When she told Frederick Douglass, Henry Ward Beecher, William Still, all these other people that she knew, did you know that she had families that lived with her when she lived in Canada, who she told her whole history to? You dumb dummies. This is a Black History Month lesson. This is why it's important for Black folks to know who their heroes are. Otherwise, you look stupid during Black History Month, standing up, talking about Harriet Tubman, who everybody named Mama know about, was an Israelite, and then you back it up, telling them, oh yeah, the Ashanti people are Hebrews. You look stupider than stupid. Those are the facts. This is what happened. You spent 40 years stuck in the Bible, and them people ain't, half of them, most of them ain't real. And you got your belief in your life back into comic book characters. But the real ones in the world who did exist and did something your ungrateful asses don't know nothing about, and you talking about some oral tradition. Idiot. If it went orally, it would have to start with Harriet, fool. You don't even got to think too hard to be like, damn, y'all are stupid. You got somebody, the nerve to call somebody a smart dummy? You's a dumb dummy. And since we here, dumb dummies, you talk all this crap, and you Negroes for years walking around with a big ass slave ship on your shirt. Hey, dumb dummies, those was Africans. Damn, y'all stupid. I don't usually comment, like, I don't care about your religious stuff, but since you want to now jump out the window, dummies, you have no idea about this thing we call a Black experience outside of your biblical nonsense and your, I don't know what you call them costumes. You need to find out who's making y'all niggas dress like extras from the Battlestar Galactica and start worrying about Harriet Tubman. That's what you need to do. A disgrace during Black History Month. This hand smacking is so people are sure. These aren't just names that we throw around. These are people who are of importance, and we should know to protect our story. So when any type of nonsense comes into our story, we are there to correct it, especially during a month which is highlighted so that we are aware of our story and experience. It's as simple as that. Why would you do that? People know I don't say nothing about the crazy religious people. Y'all do what y'all want to do. But since we're here, and since you want to be made an example, and you're going to then run behind some oral tradition, you guys are dumber than dumb. Those are the facts. When it comes down to the history of our people, you are creating narratives of garbage. You got people actually entertaining the Ashan tribe. Like there's some secret Jews that was brought over to sit in Charleston, Virginia, and otherwise. Once again, for the record, moment of silence. Negro, please, man. Stay your simple behinds in them Bibles. You do better off arguing about the circumcisions and all that other weird shit you do. Why am I speaking on it now? Because you think you slick. You took Black History Month because you don't got nobody to highlight it, because you don't even celebrate Black History Month, because all them people we celebrate, you call them Toms, Coons, sellouts, and everything else, don't you? So you were stuck with 28 days of Abba Bivens. How's that working out for you? 28 days of praising Aria. How's that working out for you? You have nothing to highlight as far as the Black experience. Nothing. Zero. What you got? You didn't invent standing on no corners yelling. Every other race, nationality, and religion would do it. You will last to the game. How about that? Muslims was on the corner before you. Atheists were on the corner before you. Christians were on the corner before you. So that makes you on the corner yelling Negroes the last to the party. They go to lost Negroes bringing up the rear again. Huh? Running around here, calling yourself a Hebrew, learning the Hebrew language, you don't even know nothing about Ashanti. Negro, please, man. I seen this clown take a trip over to Israel and walking around Israel. Did you find Harriet's relatives in Israel? Some fool. When you went to Israel, did you find Harriet and them over there? No, you didn't. You was hoping them people from Demona ain't get rid of your ass. That's what you was hoping. And you was hoping that, well, you was too light, but mistaking you for Ethiopian Jew and put your ass in Ethiopia. That's what you was looking for. My friends, many of us, due to Elmina and others, have a connection to Ghana. Yes, fact. Ghana, Guinea, the Mandis. You're gonna find much of that in your haplogroup, Igbos and Nigerians, what have you. But Ghana is pretty big. Why? The access to the coast and the castles that they had on the coast, and when they chose to take the forts from the Dutch and Portuguese, what they were doing in colonial America. Once again, you know these things if you study history, which you cannot find in Leviticus. Dummies. So when she says that her family is Santi, we don't just got to take Harriet's words for it. We can look at the days and times of what's going on in Dorchester County and how the slave situation was working. You see how that works? Hey, Harriet seems validated. She didn't say she was Ethiopian, which would have made no sense. She said Santi, which made perfect sense. Did she say Israelite? No. So what are you talking about? I know, oral tradition, right? Negro, please. And this is what they use. Disgraceful during Black History Month. So, like I said, you give me an opportunity to say, hey guys, how many people watching? I don't even know. There is William Still. You should look up. Matter of fact, if Sanera or Rob Bourne, somebody's in the chat, please put the link in so people are aware who William Still is and the writings on the Underground Railroad. Here's another one for the smart Negroes out here, right? Harriet Tubman is supposed to be a Negro Jew. Check this out, my friends. Harriet Tubman is on the CIA's website. Does that mean that Harriet Tubman was a CIA agent? Think about it. So that means that the Black Jews were CIA agents. CIA didn't exist at the time, but they were spies. If you look on a CIA or FBI website, one of the two, you will find a whole section on Black spies. Look it up, CIA or the FBI website. So does that mean that Harriet Tubman was a Black Jew spy for Esau? You dummies. This is all the stuff you got to take when you try to take Harriet. Why was she going to the African Methodist Church if she hated Africans like y'all do? Dummies. Huh? Is anybody seeing how stupid people look during Black History Month, led by the clowns who even deny their Africanness, now think they want to have any conversation on the people of African descent? Why do you care? Oh, because you want to snatch somebody because you got nothing to talk about, just like all the other conscious groups when it comes to the month dealing with Black folks and those of African descent. You have nobody to point to. No one except Albert Bivens and some drunk nigga in a Star Wars backup dancer costume standing on the corner. Those are the cold facts. Those are the facts. This is why you do this every Black History Month. You guys got nothing to talk about. You have no heroes and you have no history. So what you do is try to co-opt the people from our story because you have none of your own. And then you want to say that these people have oral tradition. The oral tradition, once again, would have came from Harriet. Dummy. Why didn't she ever say that? It was a secret amongst the family that they was really Hebrews. It sounds stupid. Stupid. Ain't spoke a word of no goddamn Hebrews. Her whole life. You think that she was with her homies all the time? Yo, Harriet over there speaking Hebrew. Harriet over there circumcising niggas. Harriet over there talking about Rebecca and Sarai. When and where? Dummies. When and where? It's a disgrace. I wish all these groups, you guys should shut up for February and started talking for February because you all look stupid. We are trying to fight to avenge our ancestors so our history is in the school book so all know, not just black folks, white folks, Chinese, Spanish, and otherwise know the contribution that the Africans and those of African descent made to the establishment of what you call the greatest country in the world. You want to tell us those people were black Jews. Once again, Negro, please, or Negro and the other guy, please. Please just stick talking about Lazarus and all that other nut stuff that nobody cares about. Don't stick your, can't say pointy hook nose if you ain't got one of them flat, broad lip, protruding forehead into African and those of African descent affairs because you look like fools. Now, to be clear, all this ISUPK, no cowards, and all this other sucker shit. Well, let me tell you this. When it comes to the history of black folks in America, you guys aren't cowards. You guys are idiots. When it comes to the history of black folks and those of African descent in America, ISUPK are idiots. Do I need to make myself any clearer? Fools. Stay in your Levitical territory and you'll be okay. Don't drag Harriet Tubman, especially during Black History Month, into none of your, watch this, fuckery. Huh? This is a Black History Month moment. This is not all just banging on them. Look up who William Still is, okay? You see, this is our great ancestor who the Aboriginals tried years ago to say Harriet Tubman didn't exist. And now here come Negro Jews and others talking about, oh, she did exist, but she was the Black Hebrew. Do you see how the ignorance and hate for yourself reveals itself? Do you see why white people laugh at your simple asses? This is why. Like, these fools don't even know their own history that everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. The woman lived into 1900. Damn, there was 100 when she died. She was in New York. She was in Auburn, New York, knowing people, talking to people. Why at any point did she go, you know what? Cherry and all them was around. Why she ain't say, I'm going to mess with them? She stayed her African behind in the AME Zion Church until the end. But you're going to tell us it's oral tradition. You sit your simple asses down somewhere, right? That's what you do during Black History Month. You don't embarrass the Black people by showing the rest of the world via social media, damn, these niggas don't know nothing about themselves. They want to be Jews. You heard what I said. The world is looking at you during Black History Month that they don't know nothing about their people or appreciate themselves. They want to be Jews. You, my friends, look stupid. That's how they're doing. No matter how much you yell about they took our birthright, they took your birthright and got a major basketball stadium in every city. And you waiting for the super friends of Judaism to crack the sky. Sit your simple asses down somewhere, man. Will you stop? Will you stop? Stop talking about Black folks and Black history. Once again, you got all them clowns we don't bother with. Talk about Josiah and Jebediah and who else? Whoever else you want. And all that. That's all you. You got that. Right on, brother. Shalom. But you want to start talking about Black history. Why? Because it's Black History Month and you Negroes feel left out because you talking about you hate Africans. Why y'all stop staying out on the corner of the Black History Month tomorrow how you hate Africans? You hate Africans, but yet you want to be every tribe in Africa. Somebody explain this to me. Hating Africans want to recognize the Ethiopian Jews. Hating Africans want to make the Ashantis Hebrews. Hating Africans, but you want to make the Igbros Hebrews. Do you see how stupid you look? Does anybody in this chat see how stupid these people look? I hate Africa, they say, but yet the Igbos is Jews, the Ethiopians is Jews, the Asantis is Jews, the Lemba is Jews, everybody Africa Jews, but these knucklehead Negroes hate Africa. Negroes, do you like pick up a mirror and just write stupid on it and look at it? That's you. You look dumb out here. Garfield and all of them won't tell you this in this direct way because they don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm gonna tell you straight up. You look stupid. And you look super stupid during Black History Month talking about Harriet Tubman was a goddamn Hebrew. This Black History Month teacher moment is brought to you by Isupk, the dumb dummies of Black History Month. Jesus Christ. Why y'all always choose February to get me going? Y'all got 11 other months to talk this stupidity. This is the month chosen by Carter G and others to highlight our people, not decimate our people. Is this a theme amongst Black people? I'm noticing a pattern here. Every February, it seems like Black people want to lead the charge on disparaging Black heroes. You are doing the white man's work. Or you are doing Esau's work. Lord have mercy. Is anybody listening? Why don't these Negroes ever do this in July or August or May or something? It's always February. Why? This is what, folks, listen, this is what the hate of yourself looks like in real time. I repeat, this is what the hate of yourself looks like in real time. You choose to deny your history and your ancestorship, and you want to be the quote unquote enemy. Will you even try to cloak and hide who you are in your costumes because you lack the knowledge of self? You lack the knowledge of self. You spent 20, 15 years in the Bible and came no closer to finding out who you are. Let me make it sting for you. Let me make it sting for you. You spent all those years in that book, and the question was, and that all of us are searching for, well, who are we and where did we come from? How much closer did you get in that Bible? And you got the audacity to talk about the Egyptomaniacs who do it when you have done the same thing. How much closer did you get? No, we ain't Egyptians, but we ain't Hebrews either. How you feel? I know it hurts. You feel so stupid, don't you? Tell the truth. Because Black History Month, you don't know a goddamn thing about Harriet Tubman. I know it hurts. But if I ask you about Rebecca and Sarai, you can tell me everything in the world about Rebecca and Sarai, can't you? You can tell me everything in the world about Esther, can't you? You can't tell me a goddamn thing about Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, or anyone else, can you? I know it hurts. Your ass is the living example of a lost Negro and the other guy. Now the whole world is gonna now see it in real time. Damn, he said it in that way, but he right. They don't spend all them years in that book and don't know nothing about their history. Oh, ooh, that gotta hurt you. You know all about Seth and Canaan, don't you? You don't know about Harriet. Damn, you looking stupid out here. Dumb. You got 10 hours. You can tell me all about Lilith, can't you? I asked you about Asante Wa. I asked you about anybody. You don't know, do you? I asked you about Sarah Allen. You don't know. Should I ask you about Elizabeth Jennings? You don't know. But you gonna tell me what Sarah ate for breakfast on Tuesdays, won't you? You are lost. You can deny what I say all you want. You know I'm telling you the truth. You don't know nothing about your people. And that's the triple truth, Ruth. Spent all that time. Just look on the internet. If it comes to some character in the Bible, these Negroes will have 24-hour shows telling you all about it. Ask them about Harriet Tubman, they'll tell you she was a Black Jew from the Jewish Ashan tribe. Damn, you looking stupid out here. You looking dumb. I hope this stings you to the core, to the point. Like I said, I don't do this stuff. Rob Bourne said he wants smoke. Don't run. Don't hide your tail. Because there ain't a Wikipedia page you can look up that's going to help you get on board for when he take all of your heads off. And that's why you running. I know what you're going to do. Let me show y'all the game plan. Rob Bourne called these dumb dummies out, right? They're going to want to have a conversation and talk about, one, Egyptians. Ain't no Egyptian stuff on our channel from day one. So who's talking about Egyptians over here? Then number two, they're going to bring up the nation of gods and earth. That's what they're going to do. With my friends, who's talking about the nation of gods and earth? No one. You are leading with your Black Judaism. We are leading with the history of Africans and those of African descent in the Americas. Part of that narrative, which you are in denial of, because all this shit was made in America, is the nation of gods and earth, the NOI, the Moors, the Black Hebrews, the Egyptomaniacs, made in America. So let me just stop you before you get started, because I know y'all looking, we could go at the Clarence 13X and what he did. No, that's not what this is about. This is about the info, kinfolk, and you have zero. Watch, y'all, watch. All those listening will whine and be like, yep, here they go, talking about something that ain't got nothing to do with the conversation at hand. The history of Black folks in the, let me slow it down. These niggas know all about 6,000 years ago and can't tell you the history of Black folks in America with any depth at all. Woo, woo. You see why they don't let me outside? I don't play like the rest of these niggas. I feel sorry for you because I know you don't know nothing about who you are. But you know all about Ezekiel, don't you? You know all about Melchizedek, don't you? Damn. Lost. What they say down south, y'all? Bless your heart. Just as simple. So now, let me see. I didn't even look how many people are in here. I'm running my mouth. How many people in here? Y'all still listening to me? I'm gonna say shalom to all those who just entered the building. So yes, we're using this opportunity to avenge our ancestors, Gullah. We talking about the Gullah influence. We talking about Lorenzo Dal Turner. We talking about all these people who are Africans and those of African descent who know their history. That's what we talking about. That's what we talking about. You see how that works? That's what we're talking about. Actually, let me get a black coffee. I don't want black coffee, small black coffee. No sugar. Yeah, I drink coffee like they say only mass murderers drink black coffee. Somebody told me that, so now I'm starting to worry. Like, am I a mass murderer? I don't know. Right, 93. I see you, 93. You see how foolish it is? So I let 93 and Garfield and shit, Rob Bourne, all those guys who, want to go in depth about these things. I'm going to keep it real surface level and say they don't know a goddamn thing about who they are. I'm going to start with, you just said Harriet Tubman is a what? I don't even got to go that far. I'll leave that to 93, who I want to tell everybody is doing his thing as far as the information to go into all of Levitical and all that other stuff. And I'll leave it to Garfield to support his book. Was it Misconceptions, Garfield or whatever? That's who y'all get at. Y'all go to Garfield, y'all want all the biblical stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and deal with the good old in your face stuff. You ain't no goddamn truth. Huh? That ain't you. Yes, you are a mass murderer. Damn, Joshua, why you do that? So, yeah, black coffee. Yo, Mongo, they tell me that the black coffee, and that's the thing. I don't work no night shift or nothing like that. I don't know. I just don't. I drink nasty tea and nasty coffee. So I don't know. I need some psychoanalysis. So y'all might have to help a brother out on that. Does this mean something? Should I go get some counseling? Shoot, help a brother out. Okay. So now that we can breathe, I want to say people look up who's in the chat. One of the mods in the chat. I want people to look up Elizabeth Bowser. I believe it's Bowser. I want people to look up Elizabeth Bowser. I want people to look up, did I post her? I want people to look up Anna Julia Cooper. We're going to show you how we take pride in our Black women. And we got a whole slew of them. So anytime y'all want to jump out the window and play us against y'all, watch how y'all all go back to everybody from the BC era. We got all these Black folks who did this history right here. You lose. You better hope I don't put Queen Quet up there. Live and direct, today. Who you got? Rabbi so-and-so who was Jerome Jackson last week? Negro, please. Who you got? Huh? Elizabeth Bowser. Look it up. Elizabeth Jennings. There's another one. Now Dr. AG ain't here. I can say it. You can put Rosa Parks to rest for this year. Yeah, I said it. Rosa Parks needs a vacation this Black History Month. You heard what I said. I need you to pull up Elizabeth Jennings. I'm not looking at the phone. Somebody please put it in the chat. Please give Rosa Parks a rest this year and start telling the kids about Elizabeth Jennings. Let's make it interesting. I talked about this before, how there's family ties to all this, and we see the bonds and legacy. Elizabeth Jennings' father was Thomas Jennings. Please look him up. Thomas Jennings was the first Black man with a patent in America. Elizabeth Jennings is Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks. You thought this was all gonna be about some Negro Jew bashing? Yeah, I know me better than that. You want the info, kinfolk? Here goes, I done said names throughout the whole thing. Hopefully I looked up William Still by now. Elizabeth Jennings, okay? And Thomas Jennings. Then we're gonna deal with the importance of science, the Black family, and Black legacy and community, all wrapped up in the two names that I mentioned. you will find that Thomas Jennings, he of the first black man with a patent in America, was also instrumental in contributing and funding the foundation of Black schools, which his daughter Elizabeth attended. Thomas Jennings also lived in Brooklyn, side note, but I'll hold that for when Rob Bourne wants to act up. But Thomas Jennings is vital because this is the role of a businessman at the time who was instrumental in the foundations of the Black community as far as institution building. This is the importance of Thomas Jennings, and not just the fact that he's the first Black man with a patent in America, right? So he instills this Black pride, not Black Jew pride, because they went to a Black church. Anyway, he instills his Black pride in his family. See, this is where the family comes in. When you had knowledge of who he was and knowledge of the sciences, now you got the tools to build and uplift your family. So he had his legacy become an instrumental part. And as a teenager, she stood up for her rights. And this whole Rosa Parks affair that you might be aware of, Elizabeth Jennings actually got into a fight with the bus driver and punched him in his face. Elizabeth Jennings actually sued the bus company, and I believe she won her case. See how that works? All that wrapped up in two people, Black legacy. Let me ask the question, is the Abrahamic religions against African culturally, or is that a wrong narrative? You can get Rob Bourne for that, Lamar Pope. I'm still of the people can believe what they want to believe thing, and people are going to believe everything. So, I mean, Lamar, Rob Bourne would definitely get into that conversation a little bit more with you. I'm just not interested. I left the church 30 plus years ago, and I had no desire to look back at it anyway. So, whatever. But hey, church might have an event with some community gathering. I'm going. Somebody getting married in the church, I'm going. Somebody happen to go to a funeral, I'm going. So, and certain things are part of culture you just do culturally. I'm not going to nobody's service today. I know that much, and I don't believe in nothing they saying. But what they say, time and place for everything. Call that Colvin. There you go. Keep throwing out names. It's Colvin, I think, not Calvin. Peace, scripture, ripplers. I want to say, are we going to leave here, besides all the talking and the jib jabbering, are we going to leave here with names? I said this since I first came on here. This is not just some bashing session. It wasn't a bashing session at all. It was more like a spanking a hand of a wildly Negro Jew wannabe. But besides that, we got a list of names. I hope you rewind and look at it. Right? William Still, Elizabeth Jennings, Thomas Jennings, Harriet Tubman. Look up her thing. You got Frederick Douglass. You can look up the AME Zion Church to see the importance of that. All of those things are in our story. You don't have to be Christian to understand what your people did who were Christian, right? You don't have to be Muslim or NOI to appreciate what Noble Drew Ali or Malcolm or anybody else may have done for our people. Is anybody above critique? Hell to the no. No man is perfect. No woman. Except my daughters, they perfect. My little one, she a little wild sometimes, but you know how that goes. So this is where we are in regards to that. This is Black History Month, and they got good fish fries on Saturdays. That's right, that works. The church is good for something, and we need to know these things, and we need to stop going to old reliable. Okay, it's Black History Month. Let's dust off Rosa Parks and MLK and who all. No, this is the time for you to reach. Oh, Here you go. Somebody look this up and give them the link. The Negro in Our History. Mongo Slade, you will be barred for your Nets commentary. You notice I have not talked about it all year, whether we were in first place or now in third. We are having a great conversation. Please do not dovetail this into Nets bashing, okay? I don't appreciate it, and it hurts my feelings. Thanks. Okay, Jackie Robinson, right. Jackie Robinson, fine. So here you go. Jackie Robinson. So you want Jackie Robinson, look up Saul, S-O-L, Butler. How about that? We gonna anyone you throw out there, I'm gonna find my way to take away from him and not take away from him, but and then give you somebody else. Saul, what's Saul last name? Hold on. Yeah, Saul Butler. There you go. You can have that one. Yeah, you saw him Omega with that New Jersey Nets. You see what he's doing, right? They just want to hurt my feelings. Okay, Moses West, S. Murphy, you're going to have to come on here. And nah, I ain't looking him up. S. Murphy, we'll do it. I think Sanab is doing a week. Why don't you come on and talk about Moses West? I don't know Moses West off the top of my head. So that's a nice one. And I thank you for that. I got to look that up. So, yeah. The Dungey family. Okay, the Dungey family is important for a number of reasons, folks. And the Dungey family is important because there were links and connections there that I'm not giving all away right now, but the Dungey family, one, Drusilla Dungey, some of you might know for her book. It's probably one of the first done by a Black person on the Ethiopians. Look up Drusilla Dungey. But the Dungey family also has a very important connection. Why? Like Vyasa mentioned, not only the connections to Douglas and Still, but they were amongst the Black Indians. Uh-oh. At a time when people were trying to make connections between Ethiopians and Indians. Did you know that? 1930s. Maybe I'll do a video on it. See where I'm going? That's the Dungey family's doing. And along with the Dungey family, you'll notice the Dungey family, I'm going to say the Dungey family so bad. Along with the Dungeys, you'll find out that Willis Huggins, around the same time, writes a book on Ethiopia. And you're going to find out a number of books around the same 32 to 35. A number of books on Ethiopia comes out. I wonder why. Anybody know? Garfield's still in the chat? Well, when was Faitlovich doing some of his stuff? Why was everybody talking about Ethiopia? Wasn't the Ethiopians at a war with Italians? And so automatically we get books on Ethiopia and our connection to Ethiopia. Anybody listening yet? The Dungey family is very important in our history. Catherine Ferguson, thank you. Well, that would be New York's own Catherine Ferguson, if I'm not mistaken. Vanessa? Okay, now y'all talking in the chat. All these names in here, I'm gonna tell you about. They all should be looked up. Dave the Potter. Why is Dave the Potter important? Dave the Potter is important because he made drinking gourds. Although he was not directly from Africa, that technique of those gourds was still in there. So people can go to a number of museums. I know Philadelphia has, and probably somewhere in the Carolinas, who have the work of Dave the Potter. But Dave the Potter, check this out. This is fact, wrote poems on his work. I repeat, Dave the Potter wrote poems on his work. Here's another one for you. And the advertisements for Thomas Jennings made a dry cleaning thing. He had a dry cleaning business. He wrote poems like raps, like TV jingles for his work. This idea of using poetry and all that stuff, what I'm telling you goes back to Dave the Potter and before, but Dave the Potter is an example of how you can see it. So people look up while we're talking here, Dave the Potter. Yeah, we can do this. This is what I'm talking about here. Huh? David Walker, we should all know about David Walker. Interesting thing about David Walker, he was alleged to be in the whole Denmark Vesey situation, allegedly. Huh? Did we know that? David Walker was a salesman of a newspaper. Guess what newspaper David Walker was a salesman for? The Freedom's Journal, which was the first Black newspaper in America. David Walker was a salesman for the Boston area of the Freedom's Journal. David Walker's appeal was banned literature, and if a Black person had got caught with it, he might be lynched. David Walker. Catherine Ferguson and his family, that's what I want to hear, posteriors. Please don't tell me you got an oral tradition of Catherine Ferguson being a Black Jew. Please don't tell me that, posteriors. Lord have mercy. So we see, we should do it every month of the year, but this is the month, start digging, right? What do we do? Or unless you think we was only slaves. If you think we was only slaves, ain't nothing to dig up for. Now, I'll circle it right back around. I should do this every day for Black History Month. The God of them all, as far as I'm concerned, told you what to do. I need everyone right now, all 76 people, to open up a tab and type "The Negro Digs Up His Past" by Arturo Schomburg. You can get the PDF for free. The Negro Digs Up His Past, Arturo Schomburg. Yes? Y'all still rocking? We can do this. Black dispatchers. So Beyonce just put something in about Black dispatch. What is a Black dispatcher? Well, if anybody went to that either FBI or CIA website to see those Black spies, they were called Black dispatchers. They were the spies. What? West side? This is going north and south.
Yeah, one quarter.
What? Hold on, yeah. Where you trying to go? What bus you on? 133, 140. Oh, this way.
On side?
Yeah, check. It should be this side, yeah. All right. Who else we got? George and Willie Muse. Is that the light-skinned dreads that Barnum? I don't know if Barnum, but I think the Ringling put them in a circus. I think the Queen Cheetah just put the Muse brothers. Right on, Tacky. So yeah, that in that regard. So she mentioned the Muse brothers, Barnum. Okay, then I want you to look up Master Juba. Master Juba, you may know probably from our tap dancing video that we have on the channel, but Master Juba also performed at Barnum's American Museum. So Barnum and the exploitation of Black folks actually goes back to a woman named Joyce Heath, who he bought and then claimed that Joyce Heath was the wet nurse for George Washington as she was 130 years old or something crazy like that. But then he also had Master Juba come and perform and do dancing jigs, right? Beckworth, there. Beckworth was what? He was probably in that Idris Elba movie, I would think. He should have been. Beckworth was definitely a bad dude out in the West. Who else we got? Peace, Nuwabian Sniper. If you feel that you learned something new, please like the video, as well as the Cash App is HistoryMan718. If you want to support, the Cash App is HistoryMan718. Have you ever studied settlement in Mississippi in late 1700s, early 1800s, named New Africa by the former slaves that fought their way to freedom? Yes. So out of that, okay, eventually we get the Republic of New Africa. But before the Republic of New Africa, there was a project called the Black Belt of the South. And it was trying to reverse the effects of what we were doing when we were doing our great migration and going to the urban cities, right? And so this idea built off of what Booker T. Washington said about, no, we shouldn't all leave. We need to stay in the South and build up the South. And so this idea then spread to this Black Belt, where we had the highest, it's kind of similar to what Reggie is saying with the Black City Plan, but we had the highest concentration of Black people is where we need to stay and maintain the power base that we have by virtue of us being the providers of food for the country, right? We're somewhat fresh off them plantations. And so the Black Belt forms out of that idea of coalescing power in there. And then the Republic of New Africa then comes decades later and builds off that premise. And that's why the Republic of New Africa is heavily centralized in the South. Is because of that building off of what was the idea of the Black Belt of the South. So that's where that comes from. F. Thompson. Okay, here's one for you. Speaking of entertainers, I did a video on this in the Black Magic video, right? Richard Potter, I want people to look him up. The first great entertainer in America, around the first, one of the earliest, and the first great magician in America was a Black man. He was called a legerdemain at the time. People said, what he just said? Legerdemain. They weren't called magicians. Look up Legerdermain, I believe, or Mane, one of the two. And so if you look up Richard Potter, not only was he the first great magician, period, white or Black in America, there's also a town named after him that he owns in New England. I want to say New Hampshire specifically. Richard Potter, y'all look him up. Yes, y'all looking these names up, or I'm just saying names off the Jewish list. So please check out on the channel, the Black Power, Black Magic video. And I go into detail on Richard Potter, but I just put his link in the chat as well for those who are interested. Right? Who else we got here? See, one person gave a donation or whatever. So I want to say thank you to, what was this? I want to say thank you to Charles on the day, but Vyasa and Guaranteed too. Yeah, I want to say thank you to y'all, Guaranteed and Vyasa. If anybody else would like to contribute, you can like the video as well as the Cash App HistoryMan718. And during this Black History Month, I'll be happy to share with you that probably everything that's donated is going to re-up on more of more Negro history books, more than likely. So you will know that's where your donations are going to. So this Negro on the internet can talk about more of your favorite Negro stuff. See how that works? So I guess in essence, if you do donate, I'll be paying it forward by making sure I come back and tell you all the fun Negro stuff I learned. So that's how that works. But I asked y'all to, want some more names? Doctor, who's the first Black doctor we got? Anybody? I want people to look up Dr. James McCune, MCCUNE Smith. James McCune Smith, Dr. James McCune Smith. That's our first Black doctor. Who's the first Black man with a patent? You learned today if you didn't know. That's Thomas Jennings. Who's the first Rosa Parks? We learned today if you didn't know. That's Elizabeth Jennings. And those who are in New York, right across the street from City Hall at the bus stop, the street's name is Elizabeth Jennings Place. That's where the incident happened. Right across the street from City Hall in New York. Right on, Brother Bakari. I appreciate it. Appreciate that, Brother Bakari. Tell us about the New York African School. Okay. I do that, then I probably gotta get out of here because my phone gonna die, of course. I ain't bring my charger. So the New York African School briefly was started in 1785 or 87 by John Jay and some other people, right? The idea for education for Black people was posited and first presented by Black people themselves, and they wanted the institution, but they could not afford the buildings for them. This is early on, like I say, fresh out the Civil Revolutionary War and fresh out of the evacuation, which was evacuation day took place in 1783, I believe. So we're still fresh out by the time the schools developed on the heels of the Revolutionary War. And so you have the Manumission Society that comes about. We have something called the Great Awakening that occurs. And this is this motivation for some white folks to start liberating their enslaved people. And so you have the origins of something called the African Free School. The free schools were established because most schools were private institutions. This is why you have the free library and the free schools and the free this and that in Philadelphia. That's what the free means, okay? You can substitute in a lot of cases free for public. When you see free library, public library. When you see free school, public school. That's how that works. Although there were small tuitions, those who are interested, the public school system, which is the biggest in the country, was once, the public school system in New York, was once a private institution by white mothers called the Public School Society. Public School Society eventually becomes the public school system. So now with that in the African Free School, what you do have is John Jay and others setting up this thing, right? And so you initially have this how Black folks are getting educated until you have a class of people who are being educated who then become the developers of their own schools. I just want to throw that in there before I go into more specifics of the African Free School. The Black folks started their own schools, not too far after the African Free School is established. However, the African Free School is responsible for educating a number of our heroes. Okay, initially the teachers were white until, I need people to understand the story, the Black community protested. This is the early 1800s now. The Black community protested the fact that the teachers were white. And particularly, you had a teacher who they did like at one point named Charles Andrews. Charles Andrews actually disciplined one of the Black students in the wrong way, which got the Black parents and everything all up in arms. This is a name you should get. And so in comes a man who is a foundational figure. You're going to find him not just in New York, but in other places. His name is John Teasman. Teasman. John Teasman. Okay? And John Teasman begins to implement something called the Lancastrian system. Now, within that, the students that he has in his class, now I need people to follow me. Check this out. These are people that's in his class. I want people to look up who Henry Highland Garnett is. I want and people could put these people in the chat because I'm pretty sure they all have Wikipedia pages. I want people to look up who Alexander Crummell is. I want you to know that Dr. James McCune Smith, who I mentioned, he went to the African Free School. So what do we have so far? I want people to look these up and put the links in the chat. You're gonna see, damn, they was all in one class. Yes. Okay. Henry Highland Garnett, Alexander Crummell, James McCune Smith. I want people to look up Patrick Reason. Reason. I want you to look up his brother, Charles Reason. Charles Reason is the first teacher. He's a math genius. Charles Reason, please look him up. He was the first Black teacher to teach at and integrated college. Charles Reason. He's also, look him up, he was also a math genius. These are the people that's in his class. I can still go on. Samuel Ringgold, Ringgold, Ward, Ward. He is in the African Free School. Okay? Isaiah DeGrasse, Degrasse. You may find a Wikipedia on the DeGrasse family. He is in the African Free School. Who goes there later? Well, our first known master thespian or actor, Ira Aldridge, ALDR. People should look up all these names that I mentioned. Also went to the African Free School. So the African Free School under John Teesman, the Black teacher. You see the type and the caliber of people they produce because these children would be in the analogs of the Black history story their whole lives. Dr. James McCune Smith, if any of the people who read Frederick Douglass's autobiography, you will find out who wrote the foreword. Dr. James McCune Smith. You're going to find out that in most events on this Black history timeline, all the way up until 1898, Alexander Crummell was there because Alexander Crummell, going way back to the African Free School era, Alexander Crummell, in the latter years of his life, started the American Negro Academy that people may be familiar with. That's how long he runs the whole history line. Alexander Crummell is also responsible for the development of Liberia College. Alexander Crummell was one of the heads of Liberia College, those who are in the DMV area, because when he came back, he established his church, I forget the name of it right now, in Maryland. And Alexander Crummell has a big influence on the foundations of the Black community in Maryland as well. All right? So briefly, those are just some of the people who attended the African Free School. So we can see the importance of that institution. And Gullah, somehow that was the short answer to your question. So that was that. What else? Okay, The Emperor Jones is a very important play. Also, here's the first play on Broadway by Negroes, all Negroes, In Dahomey. You know, like the country? Yes, that was the first Black play on Broadway. And you know what the thing is? We today don't know about them. I mean, we know now because people talk about Liberia and a bit more about going back to Africa. Did you know that the first Black play on Broadway was about a Back to Africa scheme? What? Yep, look it up. It's called In Dahomey, and it's with Bert Williams, who you should look up, as well as George Walker. I think Harry Burleigh is the music director, or Will Marion Cook. That's a name you should look up as well. Will Marion, Marion Cook. Like I say, when it comes to the history of Africans and those of African descent in Americas, as you can see, folks, we can do this all day long. And all I'm asking, well, who is on the other side? Who are all these other people, Black Israelites and all? Where is your people at in your history? Because I done sat here for the last 45 minutes. I could do it for another 45 months, naming our heroes in our story. Who are the heroes and the people from their story? It's Abba Bivens, Crowdy, and some other Negroes who had a dream. Has anybody seen a difference this Black History Month? Everybody's in denial of all these people that we're talking about. Well, you know what? We claim them because they're our people. And that's just our story. You are in denial because you have no people, because you have no story. Your story was made up in the end of the 1800s, going into the 1900s. You see how this works? So we take this month to dig up our past so we know the deal about our heroes. So anytime, let me bring a full circle, some dummies come out of nowhere and tell you Harriet Tubman was an Israelite, or for that matter, Benjamin Banneker is a Moor, you can take a deep breath and remember those key words. Negro, please. That's all you gotta say. And so before I close, if you like the video, like it. If you want to contribute, because you learned at least one new thing today, the Cash App is History Man 718. You learn one new thing, the Cash App is History Man 718, whether it was $5, $10, 20, or whatever it is. But I will close this in this fashion. Stay in your biblical lanes, and I ain't got nothing to say. That's between you and Rob Horn and Garfield and 93 and all the people who take pleasure in showing you how silly you look. My only request is don't bring that garbage into the history of Africans and those of African descent in America. So why don't you talk about Hiawatha or talk about, I don't know, Moshe, or talk about, I don't know, Ham's daughter, or I don't know, Jebediah's Jesus sandals. All of that you got. Going back and lying about the BC era, you guys are good at that. One day you're Sephardics, another day you're Ethiopians. You guys are great at messing up that stuff. Stay the hell away from the history of Africans and those of African descent in America. We have a story that we have been telling for ourselves. See what they get mad at, folks. I'm gonna end it on this. This is what hurts them. When it comes down to the end of the day, all the stuff I'm saying, we got from the pens and mouths of Black people. These niggas gonna bring you all white people. See the difference? We got Black newspapers, we got Black writing, we got Black this, we got Black that. What do they have? What some white people said in some book about some Black people. What do they have? Some falsehood about an oral tradition that is off center a little bit based on the evidence that we have to support it. So when it comes down to it, I got a whole hall of justice of information, and you have a whole Tower of Babel of bull crap. And I know it hurts, and it should hurt, because the object of all this, once you left Jesus in the church, was allegedly for the pursuit of knowledge of self. How close did you get to knowledge of self looking at the first 5 books of the Bible? None. Cold, hard facts. None. Because before, and here is the hurt, before that white man and them ships pulled up to the coast of West Africa, you did not know or give a damn about Jesus, especially the Ashanti. Excuse me, the Akan, if you want. So the Afanti, Ashanti, whoever you want. Fuller. The Fuller you might get a chance with, the Futa, because some of them was Muslims. But other than that, now you guys are running around talking about the Jews is really secret Muslims, or the Muslims is really secret Jews, or whatever. You look dumber every time you speak. And so, in closing, the 81 people in here will take a collective breath and with me go, Negro, please. So, maybe Shanab. I think Shanab is doing something. I asked y'all to tune into the channel, or definitely check out the Clubhouse Each One Teach One group, because they're on there all the time. And Gullah, check out Gullah's room on there as well. And Black Brown Table has a room on Clubhouse, so definitely check out Clubhouse and keep your eyes open for Seneb. And I encourage all those, even if you got 2 or 3 slides about history, Black history for this month, you are welcome to come on. It doesn't have to be no in-depth presentation. If you find somebody that you get excited about and you want people to know about, you are more than welcome to come on here and share. But if you come on here telling me somebody was something that they not, Lord have mercy, you are going to get a collective Negro, please. On that, y'all, please remember the names that we have. Please rewind the video, and please, please share these names with your children, so these names and these people and our story can live on for another generation. That's what I do ask y'all. Please share this information with the babies. On that note, I'm going to say thanks for all, and see if anybody I need to thank on my way up out of here. No, so it's just the people that I thank, and I want to say thank y'all. And yeah, until next time, stay Black, I guess that's how it goes. Participants 1. Wait a minute, somebody trying to come in? Oh no, that's just me. I got a little gassed up. Okay, y'all. So on that note, I just want to say peace.